Maybe if I haven't convinced you yet that secularism ultimately leads to a bloodbath and that true, authentic faith actually can preserve a society, at least I will just tell you this. You do you gives you no understanding for why you shouldn't do whatever you want to do. Therefore, we might need some truth to go on top of our you do you mentality before it leads to more death or perhaps more rioting, as we'll see in this next story. So just recently at UC Davis, a conservative event was supposed to be taking place. However, that event was canceled because there was a riot that broke out, and because of the violence that broke out, that conservative event was canceled. So here's a local news station doing some coverage about that UC Davis event.
Davis's campus, targeting protesters of a conservative speaking event hosted by a student organization.
The metal barricades that sometimes people use for crowd control at events like this and hurl them full force at the crowd with no care or consideration for the injuries that might have been caused.
Videos shared with CBS 13 show the back and forth. In one, a UC Davis student says she's been sprayed with mace and that her eyes burn and she can't see.
They broke her property just simply for being a conservative.
Oops. I think you meant to cut a little bit sooner than you did, because I don't know if you missed it, but that girl just said that she was a conservative and she was pepper sprayed because she was a conservative. So let's get this straight. The media is telling us right now that this UC Davis event in California, of all places, a conservative event, was shut down because of the violence of conservative extremists or right-wing extremists. Now, so to believe this, let's just, push aside our ideological bents here for a moment and let's just be logical. So you would have to believe that the right is so committed to self-destruction that they want to shut down their own events, and they hate their own events so much that they will create violence at their own events. So that's what you'd have to believe. Or you could believe that the left, those who are committed to self-mutilation, therefore not too far from self-defeat, because they believe in transing children and they believe in transing adults. So those who believe in supposed gender-affirming care are not the ones who are the self-defeating ones, but it's the right who wants to cancel all of their own events. Who's really to blame for the shutting down of this event? Forgive me if I don't believe it's the Proud Boys, but that I actually believe it's leftist radicals who came out and stirred up the violence and then was met and also with force when they did that. So what's more likely? The bastion of conservative speech, UC Davis, was standing back and all of the students there were just praying earnestly and honestly, idly sitting by while the Proud Boys destroyed their own event, or that the very left-leaning UC Davis was actually responsible for getting the event shut down and then they blamed conservatives for it. Just a couple of things. I can't tell you what to believe, but I can tell you which one makes way more logical sense. A couple other things. No one defines radicalism on the left. It's always on the right. Why is that? When we talk about excesses, at least when the mainstream media does, they never have a definition for what leftist extremism is. In fact, I can't remember the last time I actually heard the term or an illustration of what is considered leftist extremism. Why is the media totally dedicated to only showing you extremism on the right? Perhaps another thing. Relativism has made us truthless. Now, the media and others don't actually have to tell the truth. Why? Well, because we have no understanding, no rooting, no anchor, no rock to stand upon that we call truth anymore. So now all we have is your truth and my truth. But in the process, the truth is totally alienated from all of us. Therefore, the media sees no reason to be honest and forthright about what actually takes place almost ever. They're only concerned with the narrative. And then I just have one final thing to say about this. It's clear. The left hates free speech. Now, of course, they love free speech all the way up until somebody disagrees with them. The ACLU used to be that place that would hate what an opponent would say, but they would fight for their right to say it. But now the censorious left is all about censoring other people's speech. calling for social media to censor conservatives, freaking out when Elon Musk comes in with his sync to prove that he is indeed the CEO of Twitter, and them freaking out because they know that free speech is actually going to be implemented. And if there's anything the left hates more than free speech, I don't know what it is. And so I ask again, what does real radicalism look like? Well, in our last story, I can certainly show you what real radicalism looks like, and it should be something that sparks a little bit of outrage from us. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video, so you definitely need to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.